My friends today. We are going to start the live streaming. So DJ, please completely stop your music so that we have a clear a system or network so that batho ba re bone go di televisioning kgotsa ba re bone go di phone tsa bone. From services SETA, we have colleagues ba ba dutse mole ke bontate ba babedi le mme a le nosi re na le ntate Paul Damene. He's the senior manager for provincial operations o tswa ko services SETA o based ko Gauteng. And then ntate Dlamini, can you please stand up so that my friends can see you? Ke o le ntate Paul ko morago. And then ha tsamai ali nosi ya ka ke buile o tsamale o skia betswe nkate. She's the senior officer mo Northwest Province. O skia betswe o ka ima ka maoto o siwa ka ba go bone. Ha why did lapela o skia betswe mare ntate ha tswe mo Northwest? Ke kopa re tlapele ntate Dlamini matsogotleng. Yes, yes, thank you. All right. So ntate Dlamini le menkate ga ba tsamai ba le notsi ya ka ke buile ba tsamaya le ntate Steven Manikas Kioli. All right. So we are going to have services SETA coming to explain to us but lo go tla ba re tlhalosetsa gore who are they ke bone bo mang ba tswa kae why ba le mo why ba le botlhokwa mo rona why ba le botlhokwa mo setšhabeng. So we can have the representative wa services SETA please coming to us, come on the stage to come and explain to us who is services SETA and why are they here. Why ba le relevant mo matshelong a rona jaaka bana ba sekolo o bana ba ko dikolong. Re tla nna le ntate Paul Dlamini who will be on the stage just to share with us gore services SETA ke eng le gore ke bo mang and how can they help us, how are they relevant to us. Ntate
given that they are also sanitizing the mic, ke tlansa mask. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to officials from various entities, officials from the various schools, and good morning to the learners. I'm from services SETA. SETAs were established by the government in terms of the Skills Development Act. Their main function is to facilitate training. The facilitator training by paying for the training that either us undergo or learners who are unemployed undergo. So what we do, we offer training. The purpose of the SETAs is to facilitate training. We don't do the training ourselves. We make available funds to train learners or workers. There are various SETAs in various sectors. Honali facet in the financial sector. If you want to train as an accountant or an auditor or any financial related training, you would go to facet. There's also agri-SETA. So we are in the services sector. We deal with training that revolves around services, marketing, hygiene and cleaning. I think some of you might not know that there is a qualification as a cleaner. There is also a qualification if you want to be a health cleaner. There's also a qualification if you want to be in the contact center. We also offer generic management. So it's quite a number of qualifications, but ke batla ho bua briefly about the type of training that is facilitated by SETAs. Now, as you are here as scholars, some of you might be frustrated because you are not in a position to go to a university for various reasons. Maybe your marks or the outcome of your matric results is such that you cannot go to a university as a tertiary institution. Learners usually get frustrated. They are not aware that there are other opportunities. But the biggest barrier accessing education is finance. Now, what happens? SETAs have various interventions. We have learnerships. What is a learnership? A learnership is a structured learning program in both theory as well as practical. Now, for the practical part, you have to go to the workplace. So you'd go for training the usual way you train, where you sit in class, but with training that is linked to a learnership. It's occupationally based. Whatever they teach you in class, you must go and apply at what we normally do. We offer, when we offer you a learnership as employed learner, we will pay for the training. We will also pay you a monthly stipend. So as you train, you will be receiving a stipend or an allowance, which will enable you to go to the workplace, which will enable you to go for training. Now, that's learnership. There are various types of learnerships. I've indicated we have project management, we've got generic management, we've got cleaning, we've got marketing, customer care, contact center, you name it. Now, other SETAs have also learnerships related to their specific sector. Apart from learnerships, what do we facilitate? We have internships. Now, in the SETA context, you would have an internship once you've completed some form of training, you've attained a qualification, you now need to have practical experience. Suppose you go and acquire a degree, but as you know, we might have sisters and brothers at home who have a degree but cannot find employment. Whenever they go for an interview, the first thing they ask them, do you have experience? And they don't have experience. Now, with the SETA, we would offer an internship. The internship exposes you to a workplace, and whilst you are working, you also get an allowance, the stipend related to an internship. Now, we have three types of internships. The one where you would have acquired a qualification either at a university or a tertiary institution, or we used to have technicons before. And then we also have what we call TVET colleges, where 2 months training at a TVET college, you would want also to have an experiential training. We would also fund that for 12 months. There's also a nated qualification that you would also follow at a technical college. I think it's a 3-year nated qualification. What we would then do, and you would need practical experience as a condition for you to have your certificate. Now, during this period, the SETA will link you to an employer, and we will also pay for your practical training with the employer. So what we would be doing, we would pay the stipend to enable you to go to the workplace. With this specific internship, it's an 18 months internship. But also, most importantly, we have types of training that will give you an ability to stand on your own and to employ other people. And in most cases, this is looked down upon by most of our brothers, sisters, parents, and it's one of the most important aspects of training. That is artisanal training. People eschew to be an artisan, whereas when you are an artisan, you might not face the same problem that a BCom graduate faces, or any other graduate for that matter. If you decide to be an electrician, immediately you complete, you can either work for a company or you can be self-employed, open a contracting company, have people also working with you. So it is very, very important that you look broadly as learners at what you can do. Now, because of the importance of training, the government has decided that it won't be sector-based. What do I mean by sector-based? SETAs used to have specific sectors that they fund. Rona as services SETA, our artisanal qualification used to be hairdressing and beauty as well. So we would typically just fund hairdressing. But because of the importance of artisanal training, and when we had the World Cup, there was infrastructure development, we had to build stadia, and there was a shortage of artisans. The government said no. In order to deal with the shortage of artisans, we will make it to be non-sector based. Every SETA will fund artisanal training, irrespective of the trade, irrespective of the sector. So, as services SETA and any other SETA, we also fund artisanal training. You can train to be a bricklayer, you can train to be a carpenter, a motor mechanic, and so forth. SETAs will pay for that. It's a 3-year qualification. Post the qualification itself, you can also still approach the SETA to train you in entrepreneurship so that you can manage a business if you want business. I don't know, I'm not aware of any time frame that I've been given, so I'll take this latitude just to explain to you the importance of some of the qualifications we're offering or we're facilitating financially. So it is very, very important. You can either decide now that I will go to a university, or if I don't go to a university, I will follow the occupational route. So you could follow the tertiary route, where you just go, sit in class, get the information, and later go and look for a job. Or you can decide, as you are sitting here, that I will follow the occupational route. I will take up occupational qualifications, where whilst I'm training, theoretically, I will also have the practical and the work exposure experience. If you don't get through your matric, it's not the end of the world. There are options out there, and some of these options might even pay you better than somebody who has a university qualification. Some of the artisans make a lot of money. Your plumbers, for instance, they charge per hour, especially if you work for big companies. If you are called upon to assist, or you have a contracting company, you are linked to some of the development that is taking place, you have an opportunity to massively have an income. It is not the end of the world. I just want to repeat this. At times, learners contemplate even suicide if they can't go to varsity. Please bear in mind there are options. The government has made sitters available to fund training. If you don't have income, there's no financial muscle at home to fund your tertiary training, please also look at the sitter space. It is very, very important. Again, sitters fund training at universities. So we as sitters also offer bursaries. Typically, we would offer a bursary in our own space. If you want to do marketing, generic management under BCom, all the qualifications I've mentioned, it's quite a number of qualifications that we fund, but we also fund outside our sector as well. But for the various qualifications that are out there, you also have other sitters. For your BCom, you could approach FACET for a bursary. And then, of course, there are people who go on and work and acquire the necessary experience. They can do literally anything. However, they don't have a certificate. What we also fund as a sitter, it's what we call recognition of prior learning. You would get a training provider who will take you through a process. They'll gather information of the work that you've done and what you can do in terms of your capabilities. We call that a POE. Based on what you've done and the assessments, then you can be given a qualification. Now that is recognition of prior learning. So you can acquire a qualification either through your customary approach where you go to a university, a technical, a TVET college. You can go acquire a qualification through occupational directed learning, where you go to a workplace and also have theory via a learnership. You can also acquire then a qualification artisanal, and lastly, you can do it via a recognition of prior learning, but that then would require experience. What I needed to cover, unless there's additional information required. And here from the...
Okay, thank you, Ntate Dlamini. That was very, very good in terms of your content. Do we have any questions? Because spoke about opportunities, study bursary, study apprenticeship, o le boleletse ka di artisan development, o le boleletse gape le ka di learnerships, ka di internships. So there's a whole lot that services SETA is doing. If le kaya le mo standing mo le mo morago, after the whole session le mo le go ipoletsa the questions, I think we have one